Good morning, staff. I love the sound of rain. Okay. All set up here. Sorry I'm late this morning. Holy crap, I'm still running late. I still don't have my coffee yet. So, we're getting the last few bits set up here. We're getting the last few bits set up. We're gonna do some stitching. Go that way. Alright, note to self. At the same time. So I'm being really quiet because I don't have the door shut yet. I don't have my coffee. I'm 30 minutes late. Oh, we're having a time this morning. It's time to get some coffee. Alright, coffee acquired. The most sacred of elixirs, depending on your point of view. Whew. So yeah, I'm just getting some footage for, in fact, let me lower this down a little bit. Getting some footage for the 24-hour stitch. So you're getting a sneak peek into technically part of my last video. Or what will be my next video. Did I say last? I'm still waking up. But, yeah. I would normally do my gaming right about now, but I'm on a time crunch. I've got... Let's pull up the timer here. Put up the timer. So I've got 17 hours and half an hour left. So yeah. It's time to get cracking for sure. I've only got 2 days to get 17 and a half hours of stitching done. Okay. So right now we're pretty much, I think, going to be mostly working on the dice in the center here, so I'm going to pull this towards me a little bit. And we're going to keep it kind of zoomed out because, yeah. Like I'm going to have this. I need to either lower this some more, turn my chair, and do some adjustments, and lower this some more so that I can actually get to it. It's higher than it thinks. And you can't tell on camera because the camera is hooked up to the side of the desk. So every time I raise and lower the desk, the camera and the mic and the stitching and everything all move at the same time. So in theory it should look like nothing's happening. Hello, Grumpy. Oh, I was so hoping to see you this morning. Good morning. How are you? How are you? Stay put, you little thingy. Stay put. Stay put. Yeah. Let's see, the new cloth screens I heard about, the ones that really show render so people can actually win the game. Uh, so I don't know. Sorry, I'm adjusting my desk. I just woke up. So I don't know if you caught the first bit of that, but this is the 24-hour cross stitch weekend. So I have 3 days to get in 24 hours of stitching, and I'm currently at 17 and a half hours roughly. So because of the time stuff going on, it was one of those where I kind of needed to, plus I woke up late and started late. And I'm working on some stuff. I've got a little something so that my next streams have a little pretty screen to show in front of them before they start. But some little streamy QOL type things I'm trying to work on. So the timing worked out perfectly well that the 24 hours of Stitch weekend would happen right when I'm beefing up certain assets of the channel. Yeah? Doing pretty well? Oh, unexpected house guests. Like in a very, very bad way or in a good way, but just unexpected? Is this some 24-hour challenge in the Stitch? Yes, it is. In fact, there's a Discord, and the YouTube channel is either The Giddy Stitcher or Giddy Stitcher. In fact, I can even pull up that page real quick to make things easier. Giddy Stitcher. There you go. The Giddy Stitcher. So the Giddy Stitcher, so she's the one who introduced me to the concept, and it's actually something like the whole community is doing. And she's over in Finland, so I bet you they're all awake right now. Oh yeah, 20 new messages. Morning. There. Sent a message in the Discord saying good morning to everyone. But yes, this is 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 24 hours of stitching. My coffee has a little bit of a orangey burst to it. So yeah, and like I said, it's kind of appropriate to take a break because I'm kind of working on some the one thing I'd really like for my streams, I'm just trying to figure out how to get there. I've got everything else done. I've just got one last step that I'm not sure how to do, but I already think I know how to do it. But basically, I have an actual start screen that I can play when the stream starts. So instead of just the title screen of the game, a special kind of title screen type dealy that I make with like effects on it. It'll be fun. At least that's the goal. Maybe I won't get there, but maybe it'll just be a static start screen. Oh yes, you're here to distract me and delay completion of the project in a timely manner. That, you know what, Grumpy, you're my key distractor. Actually, that's what it was. See, I woke up this morning and I realized, oh man, Grumpy's gonna distract me again, and all my little orc guys. Oh no, I have to think about the safety of the orcs. So I had to do something non-orc related. Oh, that probably sounded funnier in my head, but still. I wish that the volume of the Dungeons game was louder and or could continue playing every time I alt tab out. So like I load up the game and then I usually leave it on the title for like 2 minutes just for like a breathing room. And I usually try to remember to mute the mic when I do that too, just to like, okay, here we go. Are we good? Do I have everything? Oh, a friend of a friend. Oh. Well, I hope that everything works out. Emergencies happen, but they're no fun. I appreciate you coming to hang out with me, Grumpy. You don't have to stay. Obviously, you've got stuff going on, and this is normally my game time, not my Stitch time. I've just co-opted it as my Stitch time for right now. I can already tell by my lower back that I'm not going to be able to maintain for too awful long. Because I have to lean forward quite a bit. Let's see if I can get up closer to it. Can I get up closer to it? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move the camera a little bit. You're my guinea pig, Grumpy. You're my guinea pig. Okay, so we're gonna move that. Oh, actually, that's about where I want it. Actually, that's not bad. You co-opter, you. Guilty. Guilty. As charged. Ugh. It's amazing how simple and difficult trying to get a Stitchy setup is. Like, it is so hard to get comfortable sometimes. At least I have more room for the, I was bumping my head on the top of the light. There's a light right above me, and I was bumping my head on it quite a lot. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna park you here. Fun fact, this green right here, this is 934 green, and 934 green was the main background color of my little kitty project. So, oh boy, have I seen hours and hours and hours and lots and lots and lots of 934 green. You know, Grumpy, you give good advice. Sometimes I'm really good at listening to advice, and sometimes I'm not very good at listening to advice. Did I say device? Come on. Yeah, sometimes I'm good about it, and sometimes I'm not so good about it, so... I think I could consider what I'm in right now not ideal posture, if I'm honest. So here, let me fix that. There we go. Because Grumpy is over there making sure I'm being a good girl, I sat up, I got my back straight, I got my feet out in front of me. For you, Grumpy. Actually, for my back, but also for you. 932. So this is going to be Rogue. Actually, our Rogue multi-classed into a Bard, which is the same thing that Viari from Acquisitions Incorporated is, and the player who plays them has never seen Acquisitions Incorporated, but I'm still terrified because I've seen some of the things that that class combo will attempt to do. Yeah. Oh, hey, look, I have to do another floss. You got my back. Oh, I should have seen that coming. Okay, we're gonna zoom out a little bit. And we're gonna learn us a thing or two about... You wanna learn something about cross-stitching, Grumpy? I'll show you. You didn't ask for it, but here we are. So these are called floss drops, and that's what I mean when I say the number of the color, because all DMCs have, this is also called DMC, and they all have a number, so that's how I know what to put where in all these little squares, is it'll tell me in my pattern what color it is. So I have a color here that's new, which is this guy, so I have to make a new drop. So I have some here that already have stickers on them. So I take one with a sticker on it. And what is this, 932? Yeah, 932. And 932. Oh, also, since you're here, Grumpy, you can't hardly see it without me tilting it real bad. Dungeon Meowster. It's my cough cup. Dungeon Master. There, Dungeon Master. Anyways, so you have a smaller hole up here and a larger hole down here. You have your floss. This is your start end. It always sticks out at the bottom. I usually pull out a little bit to give it some oomph. And then I drape one side around my wrist. Then I grab my other wrist, pinch it, and then I kind of wrap it around my hand like so. So that's going to be slightly off frame, but you get the idea. I'm basically turning it into a bigger circle from a smaller circle. And it just, because this is designed to come off this way, it just comes off my wrist. They're wound in such a way where you can unwind them. Hey, Giddy Stitcher. She's on hour 10. Dang. Okay, so now that I've got it all wrapped around, I find this spot where they kind of line up-ish, and then I snip. So now, and I've got a little bit extra, but that's fine. So now, because I snipped, I have two free ends, and then I have a loopy end. And then I take the loopy end and I stick it through the larger hole right here, and I poke it in where I want to pull it from. So if I want to hold and look at the number and pull this direction, I need to poke it in that direction. And then you find your loop. Which I somehow completely jacked up, but that's okay. There we go, there's the loop. So then you find the loop and then you thread it through the loop. That, which is a knot I'm sure you've seen before, many people have. It's not like it's a knot or anything. And it just sits like that. And then, now we're gonna zoom back in a little bit. Oh hey, you can see where my coffee cup was sitting on there, can't you? So then, whenever I want to pull one of these, each of these, like this thing right here, one of these is actually 6 strands all twirled up. So this is actually 6. I don't need all 6. I actually just need 2, but technically 1. And so you go over here and you grab just one. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. You grab just one, and then you just pull, and it puffles up, and then it just drops, and then I just have my 1 strand. And that's why I use these this way, because every time I need a color, I just go, and then I go, and then it's done. No more complicated than that. And then I just put them back on my ring in order. In numerical order. So there you go. You learned just something about cross-stitch today. Just responding to the Discord. There we go. Ba-ba-bum. Lovely sound effect. Thank you, Grumpy. I know I'm good if it's Grumpy approved. I know I'm good. Alright. Would result in me entangled in the thread and anyone seeing me thinking I was hit by a web spell. It does seem to be a bit more of a rarity, but there are guys who do stitching. It's very therapeutic. It's very, because you're following a pattern. You don't really have to think that hard, but you have to think just hard enough. And also it's very, it's surprising how like addictive it is. You know, just one stitch, and then 1 becomes 3, and then 3 becomes 30, and then 30 becomes 300. It's just the way it's made. It's in fact, if you try to go buy this in the store, it's gonna say on the brand. In fact, I still have the tag. So here's the actual branded tag. DMC. It's DMC. 6-strand cotton is what it's called. So when they make it in this. This is called a skein. And they make it like this. And then of course there's the number right there. So this is 519. And it's called 6-strand cotton. Now there are projects or types of crafting that you might do that involve all 6 strands. It just so happens that cross stitching in particular doesn't usually use all 6 strands like that. So what I do is I'm actually doing a kind of stitching called 2/2. And the reason it's called that is because there's actually 2 strands in here, because what I've done, because what I've done is I've taken one strand. You remember when we cut it, it was just a big old loop that went like this. Well, I threaded my needle with the 2 free ends down here, folding up the loop at this end there. So, you know, this is actually one strand folded in half to create a 2 thickness, giving me a loop at the ends. Oh, alright, Grumpy. Well, hey, if you have to leave, go leave. If they want to pop in, they can too. But I totally understand. But thanks for sticking around for lessons in cross-stitching you didn't ask for. Oh, hey, there's Michelle. Hi, Michelle. Alright, Grumpy. You know what, Grumpy? You're not a stitcher, so they're not dumb questions, because you don't know anything about it. You're learning. Oh my goodness. Hello, Michelle. Hello, Cozy DH. Thanks, guys, for popping in. Thank you. I appreciate it. I don't have the little chat replay thingy up in the window. Grumpy, who's a regular of mine, is here and there. He's on YouTube, and you guys are on Twitch, so if you hear me talking to random people, that's why. I was just showing Grumpy how to thread floss drops. Grumpy's not a stitcher, because I'm usually gaming at this time. And, yeah. So I was just, I'm missing colors off of my floss drops for this project, and I just have them sitting as skeins off to the side, and I just do them when I feel like it, or when I need them, I should say. Oh, I am tagged with Subnautica. I should probably fix that. That's because I did an entire playthrough of Subnautica on hardcore mode, which not all of which is on Twitch. Most of it's actually on YouTube, because it was the first streaming I ever did, and I wasn't on Twitch at that time because I was using a different program that didn't let me multicast. In fact, so every Saturday at usually 5 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, I get up and I stream video games. And so right now the current game I'm playing is Dungeons 2, which is hilarious. But since we're in the 24-hour Stitchathon, I figured instead of games, I would do cross-stitch. So you said, I think I saw in the Discord... yes, the rain sound is coming from me. It's not raining outside. Although if it was raining outside, that would be fantastic. Yes, in fact, since I paused for a half second, why don't I see if I can fix that? I thought I caught it before I hit the, Yes, in fact, I saw, Cozy DH that, stop playing. I thought, I saw that there was a notification for you being live, and I got all excited, and then I realized that when I saw that notification, it was like several hours old, because I hadn't checked the Discord in a while, and I was like, oh man. Okay, let's see. Can I, in fact, I think the, Thanks for finding that, Michelle. I'm so sorry. I was sidetracked. I was talking with Grumpy. In fact, let me pause. So I've got that's where I'm at. I moved from a count up timer to a countdown timer. So let me see if I can fix my... Oh well. I'll fix it later. How about that? How about I just focus on the stitching for right now and I'll fix it later. That's an ADHDer's way of life, isn't it? Okay. I saw you follow me, so now I'm gonna be able to find you a lot easier. Or can I? No, actually, I don't think I can pull up... No, I can pull up a list of who followed. I don't know. I'm not very familiar with Twitch. I'm more familiar with YouTube than I am Twitch. I'm sort of on Twitch as like a side note at this point, but I should get on that. My username on YouTube is the same. It's T and Tori everywhere. Which is actually a reference to my ADHD. And the fact that my name is Tori. Hi, I'm Tori. So I'm working on Rogue right now. What I'm doing is D&D Smalls. I call them my D&D Smalls. There's one for each player. So I already did Sorcerer, which the video of the stream where I finished Sorcerer is on YouTube. And this is Rogue, because that's just the next class that I decided to tackle. One of my other players is a Ranger, and the other one is an Artificer. So I'm going to be doing one of these for each player. In the center, they will have the hit dice for the class. So this is actually a D8. And the Sorcerer had a D6. ADHDH for the same reason. Yes. You mean on YouTube, Michelle? By the way, is it okay if I call you Michelle, or do you prefer to just be called the Giddy Stitcher? And they have the little colors that are like... Let's see. This is not... 1, 2... Oh, it's... Okay, so 2, so 1... 1, 2... Okay, so it should be about there, which is a bit of a stretch, but I think that that's an okay stretch. Also, there's some stuff on there. So I've got 1, 2... Yeah, this is turning into the hilt of a sword, and then this is the D8 sitting in the middle. In fact, I should be able to put an image of the finished piece, or what will be the finished piece. Give me the image. There it is. So that's what it'll look like when it's done. Put this a bit out of the way. That's what it'll look like when it's done. So the dice right here in the center is this piece right here, and then this is the hilt of one of the swords right here in the center. So yeah. That up and your eminence or your ex... I was just taken here, this one. Eminence. Tori, on YouTube, it just shows as a totally blank channel for me, so IDK. Oh no, really? You know what I wonder, and I am nowhere near knowledge enough to really say one way or another, but part of me wonders if the fact that you're in a different country? I don't know. I'll have to send you a link or something later. I mean, I'm assuming it's... Boy, I'm getting all kinds of stitching done, aren't I? I'm gonna have to pause my timer. So it should be basically that, and then that's the last one that I did. So, or actually, no, that's the current... No, that's the last one I did. And then under playlists, I tried to add all the Subnautica ones to the playlist. Of course, I have a ton of playlists, but that's the Subnautica one. So I'll have to send you something, or I used Floss Cross, actually. So I bought a sticker. Whoop, and I'm losing my 939 here. Anyone else do that where they start referring to their floss by color? It's not, oh, my floss is falling to the side. It's, oh, my 939's falling to the side. And like one of the colors, like the screen up here is 934. And I have another previous project that I've completed and fully finished. That is a kitty. It was done as a memorial piece for my better half's favorite cat who passed. It was a Maine Coon. And I call it Littlest Kitty. And Littlest Kitty has a background all around the cat head that is all 934, so I've seen hours of 934. And my needle minder, in case anyone saw it, is Spyro themed. Oh, I'm Tiantori 5079. Okay. I'm glad you're smarter than me, Michelle. Who am I kidding? There's a ton of people that are smarter than me. I'm still new at this whole thing. I have honestly not been doing it very long. I think I started in February? Something like that? No, December. Excuse me for bumping the mic and stuff. I started it in December. I have not been doing it very long. And most of that are Skyrim Let's Plays and Subnautica Let's Plays. And I'm trying to do a bit of a rearrange, though. I'm trying to move from... I'm trying to get, like, better thumbnails, and I'm even trying to get myself set up to do more face cam stitchy videos. My goal is Saturday streams with games, or it's just a screen and the game, and then actual face stuff for the floss stuff, for the crafty stuff, kind of like how Michelle does it. I'm actually using her video as basically a template. Thank you so much, Michelle. You're awesome. You're the best. And you heard that correctly. I am 100% inspired by and using your January 24-hour video as a sort of template for what I want to do with my vlog style video. Your like your style and your energy and the sort of organized, not organized, kind of rambly, not rambly. If you couldn't tell, I'm very similar to that, and it really like jives with me in the music, and I've always wanted to do videos that are more edited in that fashion. I just kind of didn't know how, or didn't know what I wanted them to look like. I kind of needed an example of an end product so I could point to it and go, that, I want to do something like that. And as with any creative endeavor, I'm sure as I go about it, even though I'm using your video as the sort of template or example, I'm sure that my own style will slowly eep through, because that's kind of inevitable. You know, when you go to do, even if you're trying to replicate someone else's work, if you're really doing something creative, you're gonna end up doing your own thing. Okay, so here. Always nerve-wracking lining up a stitch with another stitch, because you're operating under the assumption that first one is actually correct. Yeah, I wonder. Well, you know what's really funny is, so the first video of Michelle's I ever found was the I tried every pattern making tool so you don't have to video. And I really loved it, so then I went poking around her channel, and I found the, what was the next one I found? I can, like, see it in my head, I just can't tell you the title. but it was another one, and then I think I found like a tools one, and so I just kind of went poking around her channel because I just really loved the energy, and I found myself like nodding along and sort of like, wow, yeah. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I think my brain subconsciously knew that like we were similar in some way. And then after subscribing and going through like several hours worth of binge watching her videos, I found the autism one. And that was like, oh, because not only did it kind of help, because I watched that and I was like, I knew it. I knew something was there. I wasn't diagnosed with autism. I was diagnosed with ADHD, but so many of the things that she talked about in that video were like, yes, that's exactly how I get it. I get it. And it was really, actually, it was really kind of emotional for me because for the first time I felt like someone else got me. Because in my personal life here, there's a lot of people who don't have it and or don't get it. They're nice about it, but they don't have it. And it was just really like listening to someone describe, you know, living and certain things that they have to deal with. It was just very like, oh my gosh, someone really gets it. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it in a bad way. I'm pretty sure you know that, but I didn't mean it in any kind of like bad way. It's just one of those where when you're neurodivergent, like tell me if I'm wrong, and I'm pretty sure you'll both get me on this, but if you're neurodivergent, you can see it a mile away in other people, right? Like, have you experienced that like I have? Like you see someone else who's neurodivergent and whether or not they know it, you look and you're like, oh, because you see it. Yeah. So my goal is to make more videos of that vein, because I was actually struggling with the channel for a bit, and I think part of the reason I was struggling is because I was too focused on doing, or how to say, I think I was not focused enough on doing what I enjoy. For example, I stream games every Saturday, and I was thinking to myself, oh, the algorithm's not gonna like this, blah blah blah, because it's video games and cross stitch, oh no. But then, you know, it's kind of like someone else giving you permission to like, you know what, I enjoy streaming games on Saturday. I don't care if my video never gets more than 20 views. I did it for me and to track my own adventures in these games. And it's kind of like a freedom. We do, don't we? That's a good way of putting it. You say radar, and I think of the character from the 4077th. We do have a good radar for it, don't we? Okay, so it's time to end this. My stitching is by no means of any kind of professional level quality, but that's okay. That's kind of the joy of the hobby, isn't it? Is that we each get to do it in our own way. I think I still cite to this day that cross-stitch and D&D are the only two hobbies that I know of that are... It's sort of... Oh, there's my scissors. It's sort of baked into the hobby. A divergence, like by nature, cross-stitching is going to be so different for every single person, just like D&D is different for every table. There is no proper form, you know, in like sports and stuff like that, there's proper forms and proper techniques and things, and cross-stitching and D&D don't have that. Whoops. I've done that. Actually, I did that twice yesterday. Usually I took the... whatever video I was listening to, I took the timer from that video, like how long I had been listening. I did the math to add it to my actual timer, and then I would stop stitching and then let my timer run to catch up. Also that blue down there. I want to keep working on this. Well, I'm not sure, you guys, actually. A little bit of advice time. Being's where I'm at in this hoop. And I'll zoom out a bit so you can see the whole hoop. What direction should I go? Or do you think I'm at a point where I have to move the piece? I probably can keep going down here, I think. I think I've still got some hoop room. I don't like leaving little holes everywhere, too. I'm just gonna put my holes. But the dice is going to end up going way up here. I'm going to run out of room. I think for the moment, I'm going to come down here and do some of this guy. Because I can come down here. Loads of room down there. Okay, so I'll try coming in down here. So I'll go ahead and start. I'll start filling in some of these holes over here. Never stitched with some of these colors before, but man, they are gorgeous. The 991, the 3808. Oh my gosh, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous colors. I super appreciate you guys stopping by. Stay, or if you do get busy and you have to leave, totally cool, but I super, super, super appreciate you guys just popping in. I feel awkward doing that in Discords, like the Needlebug. If you've never heard of the Needlebug, by the way, you should check her out. She's a big FlossTube influence for me. Her and Teresa Little Stitcher, but even in her Discord, there's one or two times where I was like, hey, just letting people know, because I love the conversation and I love the people, but I don't like asking people to pop in. It feels weird to me. So I appreciate you guys being here an awful, awful lot. Oh, really? Squeeze around the edge of the hoop? Huh. I'll probably, you know what, after I'm done doing this and after the family breakfast, when I get back to stitching, I'll have to like look you up and see if I can find any video examples of that. I'm actually taking this because I don't have to use the stand. I could stitch with this hoop in hand. As you can see, it's not very big. I'm actually taking this to the family breakfast this morning. I'm so cheeky. I love the family breakfast. It's my other half. I say family breakfast. It's my other half and his mom and his dad. Basically my adopted mom and adopted dad, because they're the best. But sometimes them and my other half get to talking, and I kind of just get to sit there quietly, and I thought, you know, it's a perfect time to get some stitching done. Yeah. Are you kind of like me where you don't really like pointing it out or asking for it? Oh, hello. Hello, Sketch. I just saw you up there. What emoji is that? That looks, when I see it out of the corner of my eye like that, it looks like a potion bottle, and I'm immediately in love. It's probably not a potion bottle, but it kind of looked like one on teeny tiny font. Oh wow, that one stitch is like bugging out. Y'all see that? This stitch right here is like kind of, it's like those fish with the poppy eyes. It's just got buggy eyes, I guess. I bet you I can't, I'll have to fix it later. Oh, I messed that up. Oh man, the amount of times I've done frogging during this whole thing. So I recorded a bunch of footage yesterday because I plan on doing the speed footage where I show like 3 hours of work in a quick time span. And holy crap, the amount of times that I had to frog. It was kind of embarrassing. Oh, that's true, Michelle. You make a good point. I actually liked it. I was too late because I didn't open the Discord until later. But like rolling through and seeing all the other channels and like, ooh, I could go put this on, or ooh, I could go put this on, or ooh, I could go see what this is like. It was kind of like walking in an open air shopping market of floss tube content. It was like going to a farmer's market of floss tube. Oh, I just messed that up again. I just did the exact same mistake twice over. Let's not do that. Luckily, all of the frogging I've had to do thus far has been very... Wow, that is about the messiest chunk of stitching on this whole project thus far. But luckily all the frogging I've had to do thus far has been like a couple of stitches at a time, like no more than 4 at the most. I've been really fortunate to kind of catch everything. Also, my tension is apparently going out the window. What in the world is going on here? Alright, tension, 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 tension. Way more floss tangles. Oh man, floss tangles. At the just before you guys hopped on, which part of the reason why I didn't post more links in the Discord is because I was already live and I was already talking to Grumpy, who's one of my regulars for the gaming stuff. But I think he had to leave. But I was showing him how to do floss drops. He's not a stitcher, so it was really fun to kind of nerd out about stitching to someone who actually knows nothing about the hobby. Okay. Got those 3. There is technically a mistake in this bit right here. But you know what? You can't tell, can you? No, you can't. I couldn't even tell you where it is now if I went back and looked. So, ergo, we just kept on stitching over the top of it, so to speak. You know, this will be my first time attempting it, Michelle, so I don't know quite yet what it's going to look like or how, but I'm hoping for good results. I'm assuming because of the amount of frogging that I did that it is going to look a little weird because there's probably going to be like you're going to see stitch 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 pull 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 stitch stitch pull 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 like something like that. But at the same time when I'm frogging, I'm hoping that if it goes fast enough, it won't look that dissimilar to stitching because when I'm frogging, I'm just using my needle and grabbing it and pulling. So it's still the same just don't breathe. When I'm frogging, it's the same forward-back motion that you would see during stitching, so I'm hoping that it'll kind of blend in if I'm doing it in the time-lapse style of footage. But yeah, I bought stickers of each class that I liked the design of from a place called Ruck's Tavern, I believe it's called. And I bought this, I did pay for the stickers and had them shipped here so I could at least, you know, give them something. Obviously, I'm just giving this away to friends. There's, outside of the fact that I'm streaming it, there's no real, like, commercial-ish use of it, but I still wanted to at least buy the stickers and give them something for it. But I just took the PNG images off the website and used Flosscross to make the pattern. It's funny, I had actually found Flosscross before finding Michelle's video, but I did like watching it because it kind of was a big showcase into like, oh, there are other websites that do this, and are they any good? That was a phenomenal video, probably one of my favorites, just because of the amount of like information in there that's not something that gets talked about. Like, I haven't really seen other channels cover that in that way, but I know that it's kind of a big, ever since I found Flosscross, almost all of my patterns have just come from it now because I kind of have the freedom to do things like Pokemon or these little graphical images and stuff like that. It's kind of huge. Oh man, I can only imagine. Well, I'm about to start experiencing, because I'm trying to migrate the floss tube half of my channel into a style like that, where it's face videos and editing and stuff like that. Yep, that's the one. That's the second one. Okay. So I'm about to learn. Although your other video about things they don't tell you when you become a floss tuber, because I'm a newbie floss tuber, and even I found myself kind of nodding along like, yep, with a bunch of those. But you mentioned in the, actually I think it was the autism video, you mentioned eye contact with the camera. And when I was recording my first face bit, which was the intro to the whole project, and it's the first time I've ever recorded myself and my face like that, I made a mental effort to look at the camera, like as much as I could. I was like, okay, no, make sure you look at the camera. She warned you, look at the camera. And then I went and I watched the footage. My eyes hit the camera maybe like 2 seconds out of the 3 minutes of film. I had no idea, and that was with conscious effort. I had no idea how much I like blink, twitch, move, look to the side, like, dang. Because I've never seen it, you know? Oh, I'm sorry, Cozy. Ooh. That's no bueno. Getting it to the point where just leaving it for the moment. Must look at camera. Oh, yeah. Well, and then to make things even worse, the only light I have is a ring light, of which the only camera I have is my phone. And the phone is clamped in the center of the ring light. And so my glasses, the whole time I'm talking, or at least most of the time I'm talking, there's this a big old bright ring centering like right on my eyeball because it's reflecting on my glasses. And I haven't yet figured out what to do about that. That's one of those moments where you got to ask yourself if it's worth it to just keep stitching and pretend like they're the right color, or whether it's a spot in the project that needs you to frog it and put the color back. Up here, the mistake that I mentioned earlier up here, there's actually 3 different shades of blue in here, 2 of them more obvious than the others. And I made a mistake where I stitched the wrong number in the wrong spot, but the 2 shades are so close to each other that I can just leave it and you wouldn't know. When they cover their mouth with things while speaking, subtitles aren't always guaranteed or accurate, so being able to lip read is a big accessibility thing. Oh, that's a different perspective. I can't say I've really noticed other YouTubers who do that per se, but I know that they gesture a lot. Like when I recorded my intro, and oh gosh, oh gee, you guys are gonna end up seeing that at some point. But I end up, because I'm looking away from the camera so much, I actually tend to look down at my project when I'm referencing it a bunch. You probably won't see because I'm turned to the side real bad, but every time I look up at the camera, it's just me. I don't have anything else in front of me. And that one stitch looks terrible. Some of these just don't look very good. I'm not doing anything different than I normally would, but man, some of these just aren't very pretty. But when it's pointed out, I'll say, oh, I'm sure. That's like when people talk about blinking, and then you start blinking. Oh. Yeah, I can't say I've really thought about it a whole ton. And for better or for worse, my channel is so small to be almost non-existent. So right now is the stage where if I make mistakes or as I'm learning that kind of stuff, it's kind of okay because it's really not like affecting or reaching. It's not like my channel reaches a ton of people. But I'm sure if I ever grow, then you know, I'll be looking at stuff like that as I learn. But I don't anticipate. My intention with my channel is more of a record for me. It's not really, and to, you know, meet people. I like people. I like the conversation. I like chatting with you guys and hearing what you have to say. I have not back there. But I'm not, I like my job. My job pays well. I'm not planning on doing full-time YouTube by any stretch of the imagination. So I don't have the time and energy it takes to like master the algorithm and really turn it into a career. That is not the goal. I was wondering if there was... Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that I'm not super aware of. I'll be honest. I kind of have a small town background, if you will, so there's a lot of things I'm not privy to when it comes to things like that. But if there's easy ways... That sounds bad when you do it like that, but I can, like, as I learn stuff like that, I can be more on point about how I do my videos if I plan on doing face videos for sure. All of my videos up to this point have been faceless just for, you know, lack of setup, lack of camera, lack of filming area. In fact, there's a part of me that thinks that I might not do face stuff after this vlog, just because I've been learning the hard way just how, and I knew it was going to be hard, but I'm learning how hard. One. Did I mess that up? I think I messed that up. That does not look like two different colors. You ever have that moment where on the pattern, because when I fill in my pattern on Pattern Keeper, I have it fill in the color of the stitch. It's telling me that those two little stitches right there are two different colors. They do not look like two different colors to me at all. I'll show you. These two right here. That and that are supposed to be two different colors. They look like two different colors. Ooh, that's a good point. Yeah, I definitely, after seeing the footage, I think there's like a proverb or a wisdom or a saying or some such out there somewhere that talks about this in some fashion, but you never become more self-aware, or not self-aware, but like when someone records you and plays it back, when you have to listen to your own voice and watch yourself in footage, you suddenly become very aware of things that you were not aware of before. It's just squint. You're working on, oh, in my headcanon I called it Dragon, but I'm sure that's not its real name. Lurk, lurk, lurk. Thanks, Cozy. Thanks for even lurking. I still super appreciate it. Actually, alright, I got a question for my fellow Stitchers there. And I just want to see, especially people who are neurodivergent, I just want to see if this is a me thing or if other people have experienced this. But has anyone ever watched... I'm going to pause my timer for a bit. Oh, cool, my timer wasn't running that whole time. Well, I'll make up for it. I'll let it run here. That'll help me. Has anyone ever noticed that in other FlossTube channels, at least the FlossTube channels that I've been on, that creators, and probably rightfully so, are very, very on point with this is the name of the project. This is who the author is. It almost comes across in a very like formal, like, you know, this is Errol and he was done by such and such creations, you know, or they're very on point about that, almost to a degree of like, then this is just what I've picked. Again, I'm wondering if this is just a me thing, but it's almost like if you don't do it that way, then, you know, your peasantry, it's like it's so like, this is the title of the project and here's who made it and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't even remember the name of the cat picture I did, but I have a headcanon, or I called it Littlest Kitty. And so now it's just Littlest Kitty. Or my fairy picture is just fairy. I don't even quite remember the author. I don't even remember the full proper title. Like the kitty picture, I think is actually called Fascinating or something like that, but I just call it Littlest Kitty. Wow, elitism is a thing in crafting? I figured it wasn't. I thought crafting was safe from that. Am I wrong? Mostly it's just so people can find it easy if they want to stitch the same thing. Oh. That makes that makes more sense. So I'm not crazy. As someone who's not really a big creator per se, you know, I haven't been doing this very long. That would be why I'm not used to it. If I were just the stitcher at home, then that's normal to... Why do I keep messing this up so bad? Okay, so I'm not, like, completely crazy. The name of my full coverage, because I just call it Dead Girl. I tend to nickname my projects and forget the real names like I do with my friends. You know, if I'm counting the little holes, that's correct, but boy, it doesn't look correct. The little X out there by himself just does not look right. It looks not right. Okay. It just occurred to me, I'm probably talking too loud, but oh well. Hopefully I'll be forgiven. I do have the door closed. My other half sleeps in. I'm the morning person, he's the night person. Oh, you sweet summer child. Apparently. I mean, I did say I'm like, you know, small town, not lots of exposure, not lots of world weariness. I am the exact opposite of what you would call world weary. I don't have a big friends list. I don't meet a lot of people. I don't have social media. I stay inside and game and stitch all the time. Like, I am... Even though I have a lot of energy and have extroverted tendencies, my lifestyle is like that of a total introvert. Okay, that makes zero sense. I don't think that I'm off the mark when I say that crafting, like knitting, crocheting, cross-stitching, is predominantly female. I don't think that that's any kind of... I think that's just straight up, like, fact. That's been my experience. There just tend not to be a lot of guys who do it, but there are guys who do it, and it doesn't really matter, honestly. Like, if you're knitting with knitting needles, then you are a knitter. That literally, yeah, weird. Yeah, I honestly, that's a new phobic for me. I honestly don't know what that means, but that's okay. I'm very much a my philosophy in life is like a you do you, me do me, and we both stay happy. If there weren't differences in the world, if there weren't different people with differing views, everything would be stagnant. You can't have everything be homogenous. You need variety. You know, they say variety is the spice of life. But There's definitely lifestyles and viewpoints that I don't understand. And that's fine. I don't need to understand them. I'm more than happy to let other people do their thing. I don't need to. There's people who make certain, have their philosophies and their views that I don't particularly agree with, but I don't care as long as they let me do me, and I'll let them do them, and then we live in harmony with each other. Like, that's what I try to put out in the world, because people are going to be different. There's going to be things that maybe you guys do or somebody else does that I just do not understand, or don't get, or haven't had to live with, or whatever. Then I learn about those things, and then I go, huh, I didn't know that before. I think diversity does need to be, like, you need because that's how we get perspective, right? Like, you got to stop and think about it from someone else's point of view. I think, what was it? Was it cinema therapy that said that, everybody does what they do for, like, a reason, and somebody may make a decision or say something, and you're like, rah, 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 and you start responding to what they said. But the reality is they probably had a reason for saying that. You just don't know what that reason is. And hopefully by putting more of that into the universe, it can help create a place where people can be different from each other and have different views and still get along. It's the hope anyways. It's kind of like be the change. Yeah, I might be speaking out of turn, but I'm personally very, very, very over the obsession with skin color. I'm over it. I'm done. It's stupid. We should not be. I thought the whole point was to be over this, right? Like, we didn't have the best past. There were bad points in times in history. So wouldn't the ideal goal to be over it? Like, shouldn't we not? I'm over the obsession with some of that stuff. That's just me, though. Again, it's kind of like, you do you, I do me. Because there's going to be people who have experienced things that I've never experienced and have no clue about. There's going to be people who have experiences that I can't speak to. I know nothing about. And the hope is that people, if I treat other people that way, that they treat me that way and understand that I have experiences that maybe they don't understand. And then, like, together, we, like, learn some things. That's the hope anyways. Yeah. I don't know. I try my best to have a more, like, maybe like a more understanding point of view, I guess. I try anyways. I don't have the world weariness, I guess. The other way of putting that is, I don't get out much. I don't get out much. Oh, I didn't even notice. I'm the worst speller on the planet. I can't spell to save my life. If spell check wasn't around, oh man. Actually, true story, if spell check wasn't around, I'd probably just learn to spell. But because spell check's around, I don't have to. And I don't. And I'm the worst speller on the planet. Yep, that checks out because that's 2 over. I'll probably start marking off some of these stitches I've done, shouldn't I? Probably. Oh, for sure. Oh, perfect, Michelle. Yeah, no, when you don't chat as much, I just assume that you're busy doing what we're all here to actually be doing. Like, oh, Michelle went quiet. That means she's the productive one. At least that's what I tell myself. I'm enjoying hanging out with you guys. Again, I'm glad you're all here. Super glad you decided to stop by. Let's see, there we go. I'm not doing too awful bad. There is an area I'm trying to avoid on this project, though. Here. So the letters, so this black right down in here, those letters are done 1/1, not 2/2. So I'm kind of trying to avoid the whole scroll area because it causes my stitch count to drop pretty dramatically when I'm having to do 4 times the stitches to cross one off the pattern. At least for this particular challenge, I was kind of trying to avoid it. Wait. One across, one over, one down. Oh, there we go. I need to go this way. Okay. Here. One, two, three. Okay. Not sure how I managed to do it. I think I made a mistake there. It's that moment when you like look at the pattern, look back at the project, look at the pattern, look back at the project. Okay, no, I see what I did. Okay, I didn't make a mistake per se. I just... Man, anyone else do that? Like, they forget to mark off a stitch, and then it causes them headache down the line. I can't be the only one who does stupid little stuff like that. Wow, I had to, like, go back up. I missed some chats there. Aw. Eat the frog, yeah. I came across a video, speaking of the eat the frog philosophy. That stitch looks horribly ugly. Oh my gosh. We're gonna live and let live with it, but that one stitch looks real bad. I found a video that talked about that sometimes for ADHDers in particular, at least that was the theme of the video, that the eat the frog first wisdom is not actually useful because what can happen is in their heads it can cause a sort of stalling type effect where they're so like spinning in neutral on the one thing that they have to do, whereas if they do little things first, it'll give them steam, it'll give them build up, it'll give them a sense of like, all right, I did that, and then they build momentum to get to the difficult thing. And I mean, I assume that everyone's a little bit different, but I can tell you that I very much am a creature of momentum. I can sometimes really have difficulty like starting or stopping something. But if there's like a little thing that leads to another little thing that leads to another little thing, and then next thing you know, I'm like taking off in a rocket. Or at least daydreaming about taking off in a rocket because I get too big for my britches, but yeah. I am genuinely lost. That's a shorthand I'm not familiar with. I'm not familiar with this. I'm just gonna save, like, I'm gonna keep the chat window open, and then when the live stream's over, I'm just gonna go, like, look up all of these things. They're probably just terms for things that I'm not familiar with. That's okay. I get to learn about it. Northern England. You know, that's right. The only other time I've heard the word Geordie is in a Soviet Womble video where the two of the ZF members are talking in a weird accent, and Soviet Womble goes, "Why are they being Geordie over there?" And that's right, I forgot about that until you mentioned it. No, I think it's cool. I don't know if this is, like, cheating or considered rude. I hope not. People still tend to do it, but I borrow English terms for things all the time because they're just better. They're just better. Like, I do tend to say bin instead of trash because bin it's a single syllable. It comes off the mouth so smoothly, and I don't know, it's like, it just sounds better. Trash just lends itself way too much with that A in the middle of having, like, a more rednecky, just trash. Like, I don't like that. I think bin sounds better, so I always use bin. And things like bugger off. A lot of them are phrases that I picked up from either Womble or Little Stitcher, who are both live in the UK. You know, bugbear, bugger off. To me, saying bugger off is like, at least over here, it sounds a lot nicer. You still get the point across, but it doesn't sound like some sort of, like, cuss word of some kind. At least over where I live, it's like, it sounds nicer. In fact, I've only ever seen, when I first found Michelle's video for the first time, the only other place I had ever heard that accent before was a Daggerfall review by a YouTuber called Jeweler, who has that same accent. And so it was just like, huh, oh, I know that accent. Maybe it's just a silly thing that I do, that I get fascinated by the way that other people say words. So cool. I think it's cool, because I don't have an accent to speak of. At least to me. Maybe like to other people I have an accent, but I don't. I personally think that, quote unquote, an American accent is, like, not very pretty. I don't think it sounds very good at all. It sounds kind of awful. Alright. That's enough blathering for the moment. I've done way too much blathering. I'm gonna go back to some stitching. Thank you for your patience with my blathering. I'm sitting at 106. Oh, my new needle minder is on the way. I think that notification means it's going to be delivered today. I did order a new needle minder. Spyro has a special place in my heart because of a nostalgic stories between me and my sister when we were growing up. So Spyro is special, hence the Spyro Dragon needle minder. But I'm having an issue with this needle minder where if I don't set the needle exactly like that, in exactly that position, it rolls around underneath, like, kind of like that. Or rolls around underneath the feet. Like, the magnet is set up in such a way where if I don't get it just right, it'll beeline to one spot or the other, and it kind of drives me nuts. And it's not a very strong, I mean, it works, but I kind of wish the magnet was stronger. Because I kind of just throw my needle down towards my needle minder and expect it to pick it up. Five. Okay, so that means that's done. That's not marked off, and I gotta go get the cat. Oh my gosh. She's having a meltdown out there. Are you gonna come say hi? Or are you gonna stay on the floor? What are you gonna do? The latter one. Okay. Hello, Cozy. Welcome back. We have a yowling cat with us now. Her name is Mercury. She's... I rescued her, so I'm honestly not exactly 100% how old she is, but she is somewhere between 13-ish. We're around 13, 14 years old. Aww, that's the worst. I'm sorry to hear that. As a dungeon master, I can attest to the whole people telling you they want to show up and telling you they're going to be there and then not showing up. Come on. If I put you up there, will you get into the lap? Will you get into the lap? Nope, you don't want the lap. Okay. Normally she wants lap. Hello everyone. Speaking of, how is the rain volume? Do you like it to be louder? I personally prefer rain sounds to be louder, but the sound on my headphones is not the same as what is going out to you guys. So you let me know if you want me to adjust the volume at all. Oh, no, that is correct. Okay. Let's see what I did here. Perfectly balanced. Okay. Perfectly balanced, bit loud, tad loud. About equal. Okay, I'll tell you what. There's 2 votes for loud, 1 vote for perfect. I'll knock it down just a hair, just like a couple of decibels. Not much. Not much. And then actually, one other thing I can do is that moment when you make a mistake. Actually, another question, guys. Have you ever made a mistake, but you can't figure out what the mistake is? Like, you can tell that something is off, but you can't tell where the actual mistake is? And do you ever get super, super frustrated and go back and forth between the project and the pattern for, like, an absurdly long time trying to figure it out? Like, is that just something has anyone else experienced that? Okay, I am not. And you here. My back looks horrific, but that's okay. Outside of these streams, no one's ever gonna see that. Actually, no, that's good enough. Yeah, Mercury, are you gonna play with me? Girl. I apologize if her yowling was annoying, but she is an older cat. She does have some hip pains. And so, ooh. That needs to be fixed. There we go. Much better, much better, much better. Gain, what are you doing to me, Gain? What are you doing? Okay. Oh, yes. that using an Affluent. That font is hard for me to see with the way they put this, but I can second that. I will lose patience. That's what happens to me. I get frustrated because I lose patience. But it's like my stitching has become an Escher painting, an Escher drawing, where the pattern is correct and the stitching is correct, but the stitching is also wrong. Like, it gets very frustrating for me because I lose patience. I'm like, I don't understand. How are you right but also wrong at the same time? Go call Madeline Lemingle because this makes no sense. And I probably mispronounced her name, but that's okay. Well, I shouldn't say that's okay. I should learn how to pronounce her name. That's the real answer there, but... Man, this is DMC 03. My sister told me that the DMCs with the 0 in front are kind of newer. But boy, oh boy, is it like the exact color of the fabric. Holy crap. A little bit more here. See if I can get it to like focus better. The stitches I just did are in this little row right here. And you almost can't even tell, except for, well, you can kind of see it on camera because it's, yeah, you can kind of see it on camera because you see the whole stop. It actually shows up better on camera than it does in real life, but that stitch there and those two stitches there, just, they are like the exact color of the fabric. Come off. And then one more over here. There's currently disintegrating around the mistake. Oh no. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, that's not a fun time. Watto screamed at me for it, my cockatiel. Oh, you have a cockatiel? Oh, that's cool. I'm not in a position to have anything more advanced than a domesticated cat. I don't think I'd be able to properly care for it, or even a dog. I can't even have a dog, and that's not because of, like, rules or anything like that. It's just because, okay, that turned into a mess. It became a mess. It's just because I know me, and I don't have the mental capacity to take care of a dog. I barely can handle the cat I do have because she's so attention starved. Eduardo. Oh, Eggwardo. I missed that. Eggwardo Scissorbeak. He's just over 1 year old and he hates you. No. Oh, that's right, because large birds like that live a long time, don't they? My sister works at a pet shop. She knows more about animals than I do. My sister is the animal expert. I have a cat that likes to yowl and, yeah. Alright, time to fill in some of these holes. We're gonna fill in some of these holes. Hole filling in is the slowest yet most satisfying part of stitching cross country for me. It's usually when I'm filling in little holes like here, 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 it's just one stitch, new color. 2 stitches, new color. It goes very slow, but it's so satisfying when everything's filled in. Eduardo Scissorbeak. That's awesome. Here. See, what time is it? It is 7:10. On a normal day, On a normal Saturday, I usually end my streams around 7-ish, but I started late this morning and I'm having so much fun with you guys, and I'm stitching until it's time to go to the breakfast, which is in like a couple hours. So I'm just gonna stay here. I'm just gonna stay alive. You guys definitely happy to have you here. I learned me some things, that's for sure. So I enjoyed meeting new people. And I'm just going to stay here until I kind of have to get ready for that said breakfast. It's going to be a good breakfast, though. Omelet. I'm thinking omelet with ham and cheese, because I'm addicted to omelets with ham and cheese, apparently. With avocado. Lots of avocado on top, because I love me some avocado. And I genuinely enjoy hanging out with his parents too. His parents are actually really cool people. Sometimes they get a little needy. They're like constantly texting us to hang out. You guys want to hang out? You guys want to hang out? And it's like, oh my gosh, please, we have lives. Please, just let us be in peace. But at the same time, they're very family-oriented people, and they have a little bit of empty nest syndrome going on, I think. Both their sons are grown and moved out, and they went from having a lot of people in their house to having nobody in their house. But in general, they are super cool people. Before me and my better half lived together, and before we were even officially dating, we were best friends. We knew each other for, I think, 5 years before we became an item, something like that. And his parents kind of sort of adopted me, so they became my other mom and my other dad, and they are really cool. Oh, the mistake has been fixed, i.e. frogged and started over. Oh, awesome. I think it sucks to do that, but like, we feel better about it. You know, when we take the time to like, instead of picking a new area and stitching in a new area, if we just fix it, I think we'll feel better. At least I tend to feel better. Ooh, I like the little cozy blanket emoji. Is that an emoji from your channel? That's such a nice little emoji. I like it. I have the heater cranked up in here, and that's kind of how I feel right now. With the rain. Okay, so let's see. That was the first one. Oh, so I need to do one more. There's 4 total. 4 total. Okay. Ooh, heated blanket. Yes. Oh, your buddy makes goblin theme. Oh, that's awesome. Aw. Oh, they look so cool. Oh, I like the one in the beard. I like the one with the beard. They kind of remind me a little bit of the Mukluk character. I mean, they're different. Oh, I should move this down. They're different, but the one in the hood reminds me of Mukluk. I really like his streams. One, because he's genuinely funny, but in like a creative way, not in like a vulgar way like some gaming channels are. And I love the fact that there's someone who's doing content who is explicitly focused on being like PG-13. I don't know why. It's not that I can't handle. I mean, I work in a warehouse. I used to work in a warehouse, and now I work with technicians in a warehouse. I can cuss with the best of them sometimes, or at least listen to it. But then maybe that's part of the reason why in my own channel I kind of try not to. And I kind of try to I don't know, but I love that there's a channel, like a YouTube channel that's not necessarily for kids. Like the content is good, but yeah, because here, wait, here. Wait a minute, are those already? Oh, okay, hold on. 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay, something's not right here. Did I miss one? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2. This is also not done. What happened here? What did you do? Now. 1, 2, 3. 1. Yes, cat. I tried to give you a lap and you refused. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. What the heck did I do? What is this? This should only be 3, so this is 2. Where did I leave off? Okay, hold on. We done messed up. Y'all were talking about doing mistakes. My turn. My turn to make mistakes. Okay, let's back up a second here. Okay, where does this guy go next? Did he go down here? He comes down here. Okay. So Cat has a lot to say. Yes, revealing the universe's secrets in a language we can't understand. Okay, I'm catching up with the chat here. Oh my goodness, blankets. Let's see. Oh, someone new joined. Oh, hello. That is Tamara Linkford. I hope I said that right. Tamara Hello. For when you get distracted by something. Sorry, I'm going backwards through the chat because I missed a whole lot of stuff there. Oh, yeah, the cat. So what you just heard, imagine that at all hours of the night, continuously, for hours on end sometimes. So if it seems like I'm ignoring her, that's because I hear it so much that it's kind of hard not to just tune it out after a second. Also, fresh water, fresh food, fresh litter box, offering her laps, giving her pets. Like, I try everything I can think of, and she still does that sometimes, where she just wanders around yowling. Oh, good. I did say it. Tamala Linkford. Okay. Yes, Kat does have a lot to say. And, yeah, after hearing it so much, you tend to kind of tune it out a little bit. So, okay. So, apparently, mistakes were made here. So now I gotta figure out what the heck I did. This actually comes out one, this comes out wrong, which means this is entirely the different color. Like, I can't fudge that one. Let's see. Because, yeah. I can fudge this one, can't fudge that one. Which means this is actually done. Oops. Make this bigger so I can see what I'm doing. So those two are done. 1, 2, 3, 4 out. And that means this is like this, which again, that's the wrong color. So that one has to be taken out. That one has to be taken out. That one has to be taken out. So then that'll be 2. Then a step, but it won't be a step. So, but wow. Okay. Yeah, I messed up pretty darn good up there somehow. Okay. So let's see. What do we do? That one has to go. And actually, if I'm gonna frog, I might as well do it. I might as well get all of them, because this is also technically the wrong color. It's just a dark enough color that I can it's just a dark enough color that I could have fudged it. But if I'm gonna take out stitches anyways, then I might as well take them all out the correct way and make them correct. All right, so you. Okay. Pull you out. So that means 1, 2, 3. Yep. 1, 2, 3. Step. You also have to go. Even if I end up having to redo some of them, that'll be okay. It's actually not that many all told. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, step 1. This step 1, so it thinks. 1, 2, 3, step 1. And it thinks that, so this shouldn't be here. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, step, step, step 2. We're done. Step 2. Once got up to the 2 correct. The next one above the 2 should be 1, 2, 3. So 2. Okay. The very next one above the 2, which is 1, 2. This guy, I'm assuming is that guy, so that means these 2. How did I mess this up? Because this is right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 over 1. After the 3 should be 3. There's only 2, so actually it looks like this. So, let's see. It'll get you every time. Yeah. Well, and I think I did this before I was streaming. Having to diagnose live on air. I think I've had nightmares about that. Well, as you can see, Michelle, we're doing it. Of which, again, I so appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me. This is the real stuff. This is not edited. This is stitching at its finest, as y'all well know. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. And right now it's only a 1, so these two right here are not actually done. So 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, step. That's supposed to be 3. So hang on, this isn't supposed to be 2, that's supposed to be 3. So I had that right. And then a step. And then a step. But if I had... Okay, so if I count from this direction going down like this, I had it right. But if I count from this space right here going up, I had it wrong. MC Escher, man. I'm telling you. Oh, yeah, skein tangles are not fun. Skein tangles are not fun. Oof. Yeah, no, there's... Some things in this world make me lose patience very quickly, and that's one of them. Unfortunately, it happens, but... Okay, so now I have to sort of diagnose the MC Etcheriness that I got myself into. Because this space right here is correct. 1, 2, 3, 4 across is correct here. So So this bottom part of this space is correct. This top part of this space was incorrect until I cut it. But if I count from the top here down, so yeah, 3 across, step, 2, step, and then this is supposed to be 3 across, which means, well, it's not 3 across now, it's 2 across now, so might as well fix that. And then this is 1 across now. Whoops. Put that there. So yeah, 2, step, 2, step, yep, 2, step, and then this is supposed to be 2. But if I put another black stitch here, then that means that it's 4 across here instead of 3, and it's supposed to be 3 here. I have MC'd Etcher myself. I have no... Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3. This is supposed to be a gap 4 tall, not 3 tall. This is 3 tall. So that means... So there's extra stitches in here that shouldn't be. Does that mean this is actually lower than it should be? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So that's why my up and down along here was not quite right. This whole piece is all been like done. So it actually looks like that. Okay. And then 3. So this is 1, 2, 3 now. And then step. Okay, so 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. Okay. I'm caught up with myself. I think I figured it out. Thank you guys for sticking around for that. That was not the most cinematic of experiences. And also thank you for keeping me calm, because normally what would have happened if I wasn't concerned about appearing semi-professional in a on-air situation is I would have been yelling and sighing and getting frustrated and getting up to go get more coffee or the like, or I would not have calmly and sat and patiently stopped and figured all that out. And so thanks to your guys' wonderful influence, I actually figured out what the heck happened there. Okay, cool. So now I can get back on with the show, so to speak. Alright, so this is the 939, or 939, excuse me. 939, oh my gosh. So, okay, I work in a company that does AV integration and security system integration for like high-end homes. And I work on the security team specifically, and the DSC parts that we use for the security sensors are all model numbers, and I do inventory among other things. So like a water sensor is 9985, a smoke sensor is 9936, a surface door sensor is 9303. So the color I'm working with is 939, so I ended up like fusing things together there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 is the first one. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So at the end of the 2 is the first one, so that means this is the second one, which is the second 2. Okay, here we go, here we go. Oh, gotta get up and do things. That's a smart plan, having a timer to like go get up and stretch and stuff. Good plan. Good plan. Smart. Earlier, Grumpy, who's one of my regulars, he had to leave. He normally leaves by this time anyways, because he's got a game he's got to get to. But, he was giving me crap earlier because I was complaining about how much I hurt, and he said, well, sit up straight, dummy. He didn't say it like that, but this sit up straight, you know, pay attention to your posture. And I was like, you know what? Grumpy's right. I gotta fix my posture. And because of him, I started sitting up straight. And my back thanks him for it. This might be an ill-advised plan, but I'm going to leave those loosey-goosey for the moment. Honestly, maybe this is, like, wasteful, but if a chunk of floss is only, like... Well, okay, actually, it's longer than I thought, because it's folded in half. Okay, that I'll probably keep, but honestly, if a chunk of floss is only, like, yay long, I usually don't put it back on the drop. I usually just let it go. I don't tend to work with my floss to the very tiny last little bit. It'll be fine. Yeah, I popped in for the silent stream yesterday for the little bit of it because I was like, oh no, the Discord, there's supposed to be stuff in the Discord. Quick, better pop on. And then I popped on, and then it took me a couple of microseconds to figure out that everyone's mic was muted, and I was like, oh crap, and I muted my mic in a panic. And I saw you all curled up, and I was like looking at it, and I was like, that looks both very comfortable and very uncomfortable at the same time. Alright, I got 2 more holes here at the fill. I got way more than 2. Aggravation isn't worth it. Yeah, okay, so I'm not alone there. When I first learned to stitch, I was learning from my grandma and my aunt, who did stitching at a time before FlossTube, you know, before the internet and all of that. And my aunt worked primarily with kits. And so because she worked with kits with like a finite amount of floss, she would get very, yes, I panicked, and then I saw you turn towards the camera, and I was like, oh god, she's gonna manually mute me. I broke the rules. I messed up. Oh shoot. And I muted my mic. I saw you like glance at the screen, and it was like the feeling that I got when you looked at the screen was like the same feeling you get when your mom screams your name really loudly when you're a kid and you know you're in trouble. That was like that was reminiscent of that feeling, like, oh no. I figured it out though. And then I hung out for a bit. I had you up on my other monitor, and it was kind of nice just seeing some other stitchers. But then Kat wanted attention, so then I ended up going ahead and leaving. Okay, there we go. Those 2 holes are filled. I don't need my back to be pretty, I just need it to work. Oh, hey, there's a knot. That's a... I don't always get a knot when I'm actually trying to... My aunt would do things, so this is a trick that she taught me, because this is how, like, she needed to save every last pinch of every last scrap of floss that she had. And to her defense, it was all with good reason, too, because, again, she was working with kits, so she had a finite amount of floss. Also, they, at that point in time, there was no, like, hobby stores around here. They moved up here in the 80s when it didn't have the population it has now, because everybody and their dog moved here during 2020. So what she would do is, I mean, it was growing even before that, so who am I kidding? But she would take her needle and she would, like, stick it in a spot, like when she was trying to... So there's my needle, right? She would stick her needle into the hole, unthreaded, pull it down really close because she would have so little floss left, and then she would sit there and thread the needle like that while it was in the hole because she had barely any left, and then she would pull it through. Working with kits does make it more stressful to get rid of the shorties, but I've actually only ever run out of floss once. I got super lucky and was able to source the extra shade from another completed kit, which used a different brand of floss completely, which was so extremely lucky. I'm still shocked about it. Wow, that does sound extremely lucky. Dang. That's impressive. That was fate, luck, divine providence. Take your pick. I stand corrected? This is not one of my new colors. I do need to wind my color shorter though. Some of these, especially since I'm not working on as many full coverage pieces, some of these get a bit long. So we're going to start filling in some of these holes. Oop. Filling in some of these holes up in here and then working my way down here. Okay. I'm gonna park that instead of stitching it, so I can trust myself. One stitch, no problem. One stitch, no problem. One stitch, no problem. No more floss chicken. Is that the term for that? Floss chicken? Hi, you're back. Welcome back. People are coming and going. That's okay. That's the fun part of doing a stream like this. That's getting up to multiple hours long. You know, people come and go. It's just open door. Come, go, enjoy the rain. Whatever you need. Oh, hey, oh, there's something on the back. What the heck? Oh. All the way through. Oh yeah, bullet journal style. I can't say that I follow like the official bullet journal anymore, but what I do is so dang similar it might as well be. Besides, the whole thing about the bullet journal is that it's modular anyways. You're supposed to like take it and morph it into what works best for you, which is exactly what I did. Yes, the bullet journal is a huge... because I need something analog. Digital tools are so much more convenient, and my phone is always with me anyways, and yada yada yada, but I need to write things with my hands. If I don't write it with my hands, then it just doesn't hit the brain the same way. So I got a... oh yes, it's over here. Open distance. Here, my newest thing that I'm trying is one of these, which is an 8x5, because 8x5 to me is the perfect size for a lot of writing space with not being a full sheet of paper. It just looks big on camera, but it's only an 8x5, like hand size. And then the fact that it has gridded paper. Don't run away on me, pen. Gridded paper. I like the gridded paper because I tend to write... I'll have bullets, but the grid will let me have the exact correct indentation on my bullets, so I can indent them one square over, leave one square space, and then write, which makes for a very clean... Also, I can write and then skip a line and then write. And there's so many lines on here that you still get a lot of the paper room. You still can fit a lot of things on the page, but they're spaced out, which makes them so much easier to read after the fact. Or even just for long form writing, all the way across. I can pack so much into here. And then also I tend to do side notes. So I'll write all of my stuff in bullets, like bullet, bullet, sub-bullet, sub-bullet, sub-sub-bullet, bullet, bullet. You know, I'll do that all the way down, and then I'll think of something and I'll turn it sideways and I'll write along the side over here. So for me, a grid is like the best. And then I moved to this system, which is a binder, which still gives me that modularity like a digital source would, where I can pull things out and reorder them and put them in, and I can have like pockets, you know. These are D&D notes right here. So you kind of get an idea. I mean, you can fit a lot on a single page, but then like I get down here where I do 2 sets at the same time. I don't have, those are more D&D notes, so it's like hit points and stuff like that. I don't have as much there. But yeah, no, it's like, and then you can have these pages where you can put, or you can get little pockets that you can put cards in, where I have pockets in the front, pockets in the back. I have the little, this, so that I can make the little, whatever that's called at the top, and stick it right in there. So this has been my new, I'm testing it. My problem is that no matter what notebook I can try, I have problems with the notebook. Every notebook I've ever tried, there's always some big problem with it. So this is my next experiment on my hunt for the perfect like notebook. And then I have my TWSBI. This is a TWSBI Eco, so it's really inexpensive with some Diamine. I think it's Diamine Winter in there. So it's like a bluish color. You can't even see really well on camera. All blurry. And it's a demonstrator, so I can see how much I have at any time. So yeah, I think for me right now this has been working really well. So if anyone's on the hunt for the perfect notebook and has the same quandaries I do, there's a thought for you. A suggestion. Somebody messaged me. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Seeing all of the progress. Oh, the cat. Oh, I see you, Cozy. I see the cat. Oh, I'm with you, Michelle. Just the search is part of the fun, though. I get to try a new notebook every time. I've got new advantages and disadvantages with each one I try. The search is kind of a journey in and of itself. But I'm with you. I have burned through so many different to-do apps and notebooks and strategies, and I just recently, in fact, 3 of the videos on my channel are Notions videos, because Notions is Notion. I keep saying it plural. It's not plural, but Notion is a very crazy, powerful potential program if you know how to use it. But just yesterday, I got inspired by a YouTube video. That never happens. And ripped my whole system apart. That also never happens. And started from scratch. Because that never happens. So I might actually not even be used. Just don't tell the rest of my viewers that. Because, like, I had a whole bunch of people. I had like, the Notions was kind of my thing in the beginning. As the first video I ever did was a Notions video. But I think I'm actually leaving Notions and going to good old-fashioned Google Docs for my D&D stuff. But of course, one thing I noticed... Oh, Notion in a very stripped-down bullet journal. Okay. I have... Right now, I'm in a hybrid between the journal that you just saw, Notion for yearly and monthly goals, and Google Docs for D&D stuff. Flipped my thing back around. And I don't like it. I'm one of those where I kind of need everything to be in one app. That's why after my D&D and my Stitchy stuff got put into Notion, I started trying to force everything else into Notion because I just I don't like doing multiple programs, multiple apps. I need everything to be the same. But then I had to learn the lesson of, oh wow, there's a bunch of those. Okay. I had to learn the lesson of, sometimes one program is really good at one thing and a different program is really good at a different thing. And sometimes I need to just live and let live with using the right tool for the job. You can't do house construction with just a hammer. You need a screwdriver and a drill and other stuff like it. So I started kind of trying to branch out and really adopt the mentality of pick the right thing that gets you the results you want. Like, focus on the results. If you're using Notion for tracking something and you're not updating it, you're not following it, you're still forgetting things, it's not, if it's not working, it's not working. And it's not that it wasn't working. Actually, Notion works really well, surprisingly well for DMing. The problem is it doesn't have a print button, so I can't just go into the corner, click the 3 dots, and click print. I have to export it as a PDF first, and that's probably because of all the interactable stuff. Okay, wait a minute. Oh yeah, so I went from up there to down here. Okay. So, like, when I'm running at the table with just my tablet open, it works phenomenal. But all of my players use paper character sheets, and I want to use paper again. I really do. So because of that, I migrated back out to Google Docs using the same lazy DMG format by Sly Flourish because it's genius. And still, printing out my monster blocks inside the notes and all of that fun jazz. But now, if it's inside a Google Doc, I can use a folder system to just organize them in a way similar to how I had it organized in Notions. Shameful plug, see my Notions video for that. And then, let's see, 1, 2, 3, we'll hold there just for a moment. But yeah, from Google Docs, then I can just click print. But see, I didn't have a printer at home before. Now I do. It's new. So I can't beat myself up sometimes I beat myself up for changing my mind too much. Like, Tori, you just figured all this out less than 2 months ago. Why are you changing everything again? And I think that I do that from a habit from years and years and years of everyone else around me giving me crap for doing that all the time. But, the way I justify it is like, yeah, but my circumstances have changed. Like, I got a new backpack. My other half was giving me crap like, you just got that other one. Why do you need a new backpack already? And I was like, but my circumstances have changed. My needs, what I need that backpack to do has changed. My situation has changed. So I changed my tools to match. It took me a long time to learn that, actually. Lazy GM in Notion too, but I can't figure out how my brain needs it to be organized, so I keep looking at other things. Oh, yeah. I could understand that. You'll be back in a moment. No problem, Cozy. No problem. You do what you need to do, man. Or, sorry. I used man generically. I'm not trying to... yeah. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. It was a generic turn of phrase. But you do what you need to do. I should say buddy. Maybe? I don't know. Sometimes stuff just comes out my mouth. But, let's see here. Get this down here. Yeah, I think the reason why I love Sly Flourish is it clicked with me so hard. It just was like it was a moment. It was like light bulb went off in my head when I saw that, because it gave me a preset thing to follow. It gave me, so even if you organize the information differently, I would agree. And I've been DMing for about 15 years now. through 2 different editions, so I'm not like the most experienced person. Like, I haven't been playing since the 80s or anything, but I've got just enough experience under my belt to like have a feel. And I kind of agree with him that let's see, that was that 1, 2? Doing. I kind of agree with him that the information in there is definitely kind of key. I think that the things that he points out in the Lazy DM are the key pieces of information that if you don't at least have those, you're going to have a hard time running a session in general. Or at least, you know, like for most people. There's obviously always exceptions, but now how you organize it, that's totally up to you. But I do think that those pieces of information are pretty important. And it worked really well for me, so I do tend to stick with kind of how he has it, where I just have, all I have is like, you know, like review, strong start, scene, as like a header, and then I just have bullets underneath, and that's it. And I mean, it's the shortest shorthand you've ever seen, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be involved. It just has to be enough to remind you of where you were. You know, sometimes I can, under location, I can just say, the castle. And it's nonsense to anyone else, but I know what the castle means because I pictured it in my head. I'm the one who made it, or made it up, so. We've got 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. So this is going to be the, we're just going to keep going straight across instead of going down this time. This particular color is like, there's oodles of this color, so trying to pick a direction and just stick with it is the challenge. Because this particular color I'm on, just all of this area is all that color with like little holes everywhere. Okay. Oh, 753. Probably have to color her so much. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. One more. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And skip 1. But yeah, I recently I took the same format as what I use in my Notions video. I just migrated it over to Google Docs and I use folders instead of pages. I am in the US, yes. I'm in Montana specifically. I won't get much more specific than that, but I am in Montana. I've only been playing for a few years and I'm a brand new GM. Ooh, brand new GM. Wonderful. Oh my gosh, well, welcome to the hobby. It's a buttload of fun. I have definitely gone through some heavy learning curves in the last few years. And I can tell you, at least from my experience, one thing to watch out for that I went through is beating yourself up too much. The fun at the table is the responsibility of the DM and the players. If you've got players who are not doing so great, not acting great, not engaging, getting distracted a lot, stuff like that. I mean, yes, you influence a lot as the GM, but don't beat yourself up. Don't do what I did. Don't beat yourself up like, oh, well, it's my job. I'm supposed to make it fun. It's the responsibility of everybody at the table to contribute to the game. Another thing that I could potentially recommend, although again, everybody is very, very different, is sometimes when you're not sure how to organize, like if you're in that state, because I was there once. Midwest my grandparents spent their whole lives and a chunk of my mother's life in Missouri. They hail from St. Louis, like in spirit, in heart, in everything. In fact, part of me wonders why they even bothered moving up here. They are St. Louis to the core. So that's where they're from. That's where my mom was born, and they ended up moving up here. I think in the 80s or whatever, but they ended up moving up here when my mom was like kind of teenager-ish, I think. And so, but I bet you the accent and the sensibilities and philosophies stuck around from St. Louis. So very Midwest. Gateway to the Midwest, in fact. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm terrible at accents, too. Actually, really terrible at accents. And I think mine sounds horrible, but that's probably just my opinion. But, no, what I was saying, though, before I do end up having to cut it at some point is, if you don't know, like, if you're unsure, because sometimes you can get option overwhelm. If you're anything like me, you can get option overwhelm. You're like, well, I could do it this way or that way or that way or that way, and there's so many ways to do it. Just pick a way. And anyway, whatever. Sly Flourish's way, for example. Just pick it and don't modify it at first. Like, kind of like a recipe. The very first time you learn a recipe, you follow the recipe. And then after you try it and after you make the food, then you're like, oh, it didn't have enough salt. Or, yeah, I need to add some pepper or what have you. And then you modify the recipe after you try it. So I would pick a strategy, and even if it's not perfect, just stick with it for like 1 or 2 sessions. And then, and then start modifying it as you need after that. And then you'll grow and grow and grow and grow. It's kind of like stitching in that way, actually, where you have to start somewhere. You have to start from something. And then even if you modify it to where your final product doesn't match, you know, maybe you're cooking a recipe and you substitute this and you substitute that and you substitute that, and by the time you're done, it's not even the same recipe. Who cares? Because at that point, it's the food that you want, right? But you got to start with something. I hope that made sense. It was probably just blathery nonsense, but... That is so weird. How did I do that? That seemed weird to me, but okay. That seemed weird. You can pretty much say it here and everything from this up. One of our technicians that I work with is from Alabama, and I am not gonna lie, I have a hard time understanding him sometimes. And it's not from the accent. I can understand the accent. What I was not prepared for, and this may have nothing to do with the air. I have no idea. I've never been to Alabama in my life. But the, and I think I'm even being louder than he is. He's like, that's what he, that's what he is so bloody quiet. I can't. Like, I'm sorry, can you say that? What did you say? Can you say that one more time? Huh? What was that? Like, I can't understand him. He is so quiet. So quiet. And I'm not the only one. Other people have a hard time understanding him sometimes, too. He's very, very, very quiet. And we're all loud. Okay, yep, I can see that. North Carolina for about 20 years. We were born in Tennessee. And my mom's husband, I think, is from... It's either Tennessee or it's... Kentucky? It's one of those two. Where he's from. I think I tend to... I watch so many of my favorite streamers and content creators are from the UK. So I've definitely been guilty of accidentally saying something a certain way, which I really just picked up from them. Not too much though. Oi, Mike. Stop. But yeah, definitely, like individual words and stuff. I'll do a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit everywhere. We ended that thread. So I think what I'll do just for sanity purposes is keep going up this way and then go down the side, because this is all a scroll right here that comes across. In fact, I think, so you can see the image a little little bit. So where I'm at right now is this scroll right in here. So you can see what I mean when I say that a huge chunk of this is just one color. So it's, but I have to skip holes for the letters. So I'm trying to make sure I skip the right holes in the right places. Okay, so this is scroll 33. Now this was not, one of these is like super short on one side. Not put together very well. Yeah, exactly. And it might not work. You know, when you use someone else's system, there might be issues with it. But the cool part about using someone else's system first, as is that the stuff that they put into that system born from experience will be there, so you don't have to worry about it. And all the stuff that doesn't, so it's the perfect scenario because you get to take advantage of all of this stuff that they've put in there that does work, and then you get to throw out what doesn't work, and you just modify it. You know, you don't have to create something from scratch. You know, when we cook, we usually start by learning a recipe. You know, other hobbies can be the same way. When I started stitching, I stitched a certain way because I was taught to do it that way, and then as I got more experienced, then I started modifying it into ways that better serve me. Yeah, you gotta start somewhere. The recent lesson that I learned, so recent in fact I haven't even gotten a chance to try it out, is, and I think something that's been dragging my game down, in fact I think I found a Matt Colville video, which he is awesome, but he can also get you into the weeds a bit. He's a good resource. Wait a minute, did I start that too low? I did, I started that too low. Matt Colville is a phenomenal resource, but just be careful because you can kind of end up in a rabbit hole and you can overthink it. That was something else that I experienced as a DM, was overthinking it, over-preparing, yeah, don't overthink it. Do what comes natural to you, because natural will come across better than not natural, forced. But here, one lesson that I'm eager to I've had a problem with pacing and player engagement, especially lately, but kind of in general over the years. And I've tried this and that and the other thing, and then finally he made a video that was kind of like a forehead slap of, oh my goodness. And he talked about how in original, because he's been playing since like the 80s, so he's part of OG D&D. And he talked about how in OG D&D, adventures were not, like you go out and you get Curse of Strahd now, holy crap. And I've only ever done homebrew, I've never done modules, so I picked up Curse of Strahd and I was like, oh well, I'll give this whole module thing a try. That failed drastically. It's like 90 some odd pages. They tell you gotta read the entire thing before you can run it. It is ridiculous. It's a whole campaign from levels 1 to 10, which is a really long time to be doing just one thing. Like, you know how long it takes to get from level 1 to 10? Do all of that in the same world with the same theme, with the same big bad guy? Original D&D was done in smaller adventures. You ran adventures that were like 2 to 3 sessions and then you were done. That was it. That was the adventure. And that's why they were called modules in the first place, because they were modular. And they anticipated that you would... I don't want to do that one down there yet. I'm gonna do these for you. And so they anticipated that you would edit it to fit your own style, fit your own needs. And they anticipated that you would run, you know, like... basically, there were more of them. There was more variety, and they were shorter in length. And that was the norm. And I don't really know how it happened, per se. But, you know, we don't... I think, and especially in my experience, D&D lends itself more naturally to doing adventures that way. The big, long campaigns, where it's the same story, same big bad, same Like, my experience is that those fizzle out. Players lose the plot, they can't remember what they were doing, they fizzle out, enthusiasm dies. They're just too long. Not every group is that way, but mine certainly is. And so it's something that I think I kind of knew in the back of my head without really understanding, and he just voiced it in a way where I can go, oh, duh. Or head slap. So my stream name is just join Twitch today to join this stream. Oh, well, welcome. Welcome, new Twitch user. We're on YouTube. I'd rather be stitching. All of my personalities are colliding today. Dude, if you check out my YouTube channel, you will see Notions, you will see gaming, you will see D&D content. Yeah. All of the hobbies. But that's the thing. That's normal. That's us. We're more complicated than a single human or a single hobby. Right, more complex. It's great. Good job. Good slip there. But like as general, people have multiple hobbies. They have multiple sides of themselves. They can't, a person and a personality, at least I believe, can't be boiled down to just like a word, a description. I'm not a gamer. I mean, I am a gamer, but I'm not just a gamer, I should say. I'm a gamer. I'm a stitcher. I'm a little bit of a homemaker, although I don't have kids, but I cook and clean and I decorate and I get involved around my house, and I work on computers. I worked in tech support for a while. I work in security as tech support now. There are so many things that we do that we have to us that are more complicated than just a single thing. You go see a YouTube channel, and that YouTube channel will be entirely dedicated to one thing because that's the algorithm. But I have a funny feeling that if you met that person in real life, there's a lot more to them than just D&D. They probably have a lot of other stuff that's going on, because that's people. All right, shutting up now. Shutting up with the weird stuff. She's like, I just did it as a disclaimer, and Tori went on this huge philosophical-esque rampage. Let's see. D&D group is actually 2 years deep into your first campaign, but it only works because we're deeply invested, and our DM gave us multiple story threads we can work on and explore. And also being in person helps, since one of us moved, we've been playing months. Yeah, no, I do in person too. I'm with you on that. And actually, yeah, when done right, there is a magical sauce to when done right. You could do a long campaign like that. A lot of groups do, but I think that as a DM, my style is very much the more modular style. I don't think I have what it takes to even with multiple story threads. And yeah, it's kind of like, let's see how to explain. I'm trying to think of it. It's kind of like I can look at another group or DM and kind of piece together in my head, oh, that's how they do this, or oh, that's that story writing technique, or oh, that's that trick that they used to do. I can kind of break it down, but I can't do it. Well, not that maybe it is right to say I can't do it. I don't do it very well enough to be happy with it. Maybe that's a better way to put that. That's like being fond of impressionist style painting, but only being able to yourself pull off realism style painting. Maybe is analogous way to put that. It's like I can enjoy it for what it is, and I can be like, oh, that's so cool when other people do it. But me, myself, I don't think that's my style. And I do think there's something to what he said about how original D&D wasn't really quite set up that way. But there's always groups that can do that. It's 2 plus 1, go. There we go. We're making good progress here. Holy crap, my phone is blowing up. Someone's texting me about breakfast in like an hour and a half, and I don't even think Steve's out of bed yet. Hey, we're supposed to be at breakfast at 9:30. It's 8 o'clock, and I could be wrong, but I'm suspicious that he's still in bed. Oh yes, Cozy. Yeah. Okay, you kind of get what I was trying to say there. It's like I see the Mirabilias and the Bella Filipinas from the Teresa Little Stitcher videos, and I got all kinds of excited, and I got one, and I'm super stoked to do it, don't get me wrong, but the more I stitch on it, the more I figure out that, like, okay, I have to save this for special occasions. I can't just pick this up and stitch on it willy-nilly whenever I want. So there's like a... there's like a almost like a skill to it. Yeah, I think you get what I was trying to say there through all of the rambling. He built a whole world for us to explore and spend a lot of time doing that. Not everyone has the time or ability. Oh yes. I have pages and pages and pages and pages of stuff for my homebrew world, and my players don't get to see or pretty much any of it. And now that I'm thinking about switching, they're not going to see any of it. But that's okay. I have it's handwritten, which you can't fit as many words on a page handwritten. I think 300 to 400 with my handwriting. I have a handwritten novella that is just one mini story of 2 characters in my world that is, I think, 8 to 10 pages long. I have 2 pages of language notes where I have created a ancient language that's no longer used in the world, and I have words and not hieroglyphs is not the right word, but I have words like words written in the current in a common alphabet, so to speak, basically English letters to represent. And then I also have pictures, little like rune type things to represent. So each word has 2 forms. And the words are broken down into, like, there's a word for elements, and then there's a prefix? Yeah, prefix for, like, fire or hot. And so I have this kind of grammatical structure where you have one word that means one thing, but when you put a different prefix in front of it, it means something else, but then you can use that prefix in multiple places. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff on this one homebrew world that I have essentially been building on. Not solidly, because I've taken breaks, but since, let's see, 2009, 2010 is when I started it. And I think I heard a crash, so I think I was incorrect. I think someone is up out of bed. I lost track of where she's over by the tower. She likes to sleep. My tower's on the floor, and she likes to sleep right next to the back of my tower because all the hot air comes out there, even though I have a heater on. Oop, bump. I want to keep going. I want to keep going. I think think I did pretty good work in all of that. I got kind of a lot of this over here done. I got a lot of this done. I rambled non-stop for nearly 2.5 hours. Met some people. Life was good. Oh my goodness. Well, things... I'm gonna go ahead and have to call it here, I think. I gotta start getting ready and stuff. Oh. Well, welcome back, Grumpy. Just as, don't you have your game? Don't you have your game? Okay, I'm gonna catch up on the chat here a little bit. But you're back to slow things down once again. Oh yeah, Grumpy, you saw pretty much more of the same, where it's just me rambling about nonsense and everyone being patient with me. And, we had some, DMing stuff in there and a lot of cross-stitchy stuff. Let's see. Ginny says, yep, that sounds about right for a world builder. I do some fantasy writing and character building for it, and world building just happens around it. It's so fascinating when my mind just perks up. Like, this species has unique feature, actually. Like, okay, that's news to me, but I'll take it. Oh, yes. I'm about to end this stream, and Grumpy says, talk about being effective at slowing things down. Oh, okay, you didn't... I was gonna say, normally you would have bounced an hour or two ago for your game, but with your new house guest situation, yeah, that makes sense. I've got a, Oh! Karen! Needlebug! Oh my goodness! Hello! I don't think I've ever caught you live before. Oh, I've got you and Michelle. I don't know if you guys know each other, but Karen from the Needlebug on YouTube. Go check her out. And then Michelle from Giddy Stitcher. And then I've got Grumpy, who's from my D&D side of my channel. So, wow, multiple things colliding all at once here. I am gonna go ahead and put this on screen so that it can be, so that people on Twitch who are confused as heck right now about what's happening. Wow, that's my brain. That's amazing. Worlds colliding. Yep. So Michelle is another floss tuber. If Karen hasn't, if you haven't heard of the Giddy Stitcher, I don't know if you follow her channel. And then the Needlebug, who's another floss tube channel. Everybody should go check both those channels out. I'm just saying, huge influences in terms of my stitching. I don't know if you follow her channel or not. Oh, yep, I'll see you on Discord. I'll see you on Discord. I'll be popping in and out throughout the breakfast. But, Karen, we're doing the 24-hour... In fact, did I pause? Yes, I paused my timer. We're doing the 24-hour stitch. So it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and the goal is to get 24 hours of stitching done. So I'm in the Discord with the Giddy Stitcher and a bunch of others. Yeah, we're doing the challenge. I wasn't sure if you're familiar with that. I guess it happens 4 times a year. This is my first one. I've got 15 hours left, so I've done whatever 24 minus 15 is. I'm working on Rogue, as we can see, and I've done a lot of progress over the hours that I've gotten done, but... Oh, yes. Ancient Alien. My grandma watches that show. She loves that show. I haven't seen it yet myself. I don't watch TV, really. I'm terrible at it, but I know she loves it. She owns, like, all the DVDs and stuff. But, yeah. The next one we do, because we're already into the beginning of Saturday, but the next 24 hours that we do, Karen, I probably should email you about it and see if you wanted to do something, you know, join in with the fun with us. I want to keep, I'm like, Grumpy's back, Karen's back, Michelle's, I want to sit and just chat with you guys. I have a breakfast to get to. I have to go get ready for a breakfast. And I want to just sit and chat with you guys so bad. Oh, yeah. So, let's see. I don't know. Maybe Michelle can send you a link. I think it's her Discord server, I believe. It's just called the Giddy Stitcher. And there's a channel in there that's the 24 HOCS. And yeah. That's the Discord. We're all posting progress pics and people are talking back and forth. It's super awesome. So, and I've been recording a ton of footage. So, I'll have like a wrap-up video that I do at the end where I show the footage outside of just this stream. I should have been recording this stream. That would have been smart. Oh, okay. Well, it was so nice to see everybody kind of all gathered together all at once. For anyone who wants to return on Saturdays at 5 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, I do game streams on typical. This was a challenge weekend, but I typically do game streams. Right now we're going through Dungeons 2. Also, if you like the Subnautica stuff, I have an entire Subnautica Let's Play. It was the first game stream I did. So that's also on my YouTube. And yeah, check out the Needlebug. Check out also the Cozy DH was another was a YouTuber or Twitch. I'm pretty sure they're on YouTube and Twitch. I haven't. Yeah, no, they're on Twitch because they're on Twitch right now. But that's another channel that I know of that was in here. I'm trying to shout out all the channels that I know of. Oh yeah, omelet and avocado. I'm just gonna leave you with that. Omelets and avocados. Happy, yes. Thank you so much, Grumpy. Enjoy your day. Everybody enjoy your day. Happy stitching. And yeah, I'll see you guys all next time.